Hell yeah, KB.
You can hear the crowd sing along. Everybody know my songs. Had the crowd learn to walk. Country girl, small town. 14 years dedicated. Look, ma, I finally made it. Never thought I'd ever say it, but today I live my dream. Bodyguards protecting me. Crazy fans, loud screaming, flashing lights on every scene. Autographs, lots of pictures, signs that say we love you, kitty. Superstar, my new status, fantasizing. Please don't wake me, let me finish with this dream.
Hey, hello, what's up, y'all? It's another Tuesday. It is another 6 p.m. I am Kitty Sings, aka Auntie Kitty. This right here is Kitty Pink Radio, and you are locked and loaded. Welcome. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Some of you, make sure that if you are on the feed that you like and share. Please like and share. Please like and share. Tonight's show is going to be a bit of, I guess you could say, taboo. I have mentioned it quite a few times. I've mentioned sex magic, and I've had a lot of ladies who've asked me, like, what is it? Like, you know, how do you do it? I've been asked a lot of questions about it. And so I wanted to definitely touch on that particular topic. I've been wanting to have this show for some time now. I just didn't know how the audience would mold to it. But first of all, I want to say the energy from sex is powerful. I've heard over the last few weeks, I've heard a lot of men say that, cooter ain't that important, or, they try to downplay it or water it down, but it very much is. But we're going to get into these things in a few minutes. I have a special guest. Not only is she my sister, not only is she, do I adore this woman, admire her. She's done some, it seems like every time this lady goes live and she is like reading or anything, she always end up talking to me. Sometimes I check in and I have to check out because I'm like, man, Syxth Sense, she's sitting up here talking to me. I'm sick of it. I want to present to some and introduce to others my sister Syxth. She is joining us right now.
Hi.
Hello. Let me get your picture off the page. I'm so excited. Thank you for joining me. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
I am blessed. And even more so that now that you've joined us, I want you to introduce yourself. Of course, I've done my introduction, but you know more about you than I do.
Okay.
I want you to introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Syxth, and what I do is I'm basically a Reiki practitioner. However, I also specialize in Kundalini energy, in which that's what I'm going to touch subject on when we talk about the sex magic. But I'm also a medium, so I connect with the dead, right. Or the living, shall we say.
Right.
And, I just dibble and dabble in different stuff, but magic is me, magic is you, magic is us, it's birthright. So we all have a special talent. So I don't, I just want my guests to know that, we're all magic, and make sure that you always dig deep into yourself and you'll figure out exactly who you are. But I am so grateful to be here.
Thank you. I'm grateful that you are here. You have so much, you give so much of yourself daily anyway, whether they're liking it or whether anybody's tuning, you give so much of yourself. And I just thought, I need her here to help me with this particular topic, because it's something that I've experimented with a little bit myself. And I can remember my first time I was going by the book. Shout out to Magical Lady Duchess, because she had spoke on it, and I was just like, you know what, I want to do this. And the first time I did it by myself, I didn't have a partner or anything, because I knew he not gonna understand this. Let me just do it by myself. And honest to God truth, I did it, and it scared me because it was like this.
Okay.
it happened so quickly. It scared me, and I was like, okay, I'm tripping. This didn't happen. Because sometimes, even though some of us know that we're magical, in the beginning we kind of doubt ourselves a bit.
We do.
And I think that's what my issue was. Like, I didn't realize, like, I'm thinking later on down the line I'm finna see something, and it was just like, no ma'am, right here. The
Instantly,
universe
right?
has delivered. Yes. But the one thing that I want to touch on is explain to them what Syxth magic is.
Well, Syxth Sense, it's a pretty deep story as far as how I came up with that name. But one thing certain, two things for sure, the universe gave me that name. And they basically told me that, I have 6 gifts. And they were telling, they just ran, like, it was just one day I'm sitting there and they're like, your name is this, and this is what you're supposed to do. Bam, 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 bam. So that's why I say I dibble and dabble in like 6 different things, Of course, sex magic is one. Candle magic, of course, mediumship. So there's a few right there as far as what I do. I will say this, angels come in different shapes, size, forms, animals, people that you see on the street, even homeless people. And the one story that I will share is that I knew that my name was supposed to have been dedicated to me because I met this homeless guy in New Mexico. He was an artist. He was just sitting in front of a dollar store. He was drawing. And I went up to talk to him because I'm really interested in people, like that. I see you're hustling, so I'm going to try to support you.
Right.
And so he lifted up the painting that he did or drew. And then the second painting said Syxth Sense. And I was like, holy crap. I was like, that's my name. I was like, that's my page name. And I was like, you know what? I want to buy this from you. And so I gave him like $25. That was all the cash I had with me at the moment. And I was like, keep doing your thing. I was like, you're an angel. You're a godsend. I said, you came here to assure me that I'm on my right path. Because as you say, you doubted yourself in the beginning. I also doubted myself as well. So sometimes when we're on the spiritual journey, things might happen like you said, like that. And by the time you really slow down and catch up with the message, you'll be like, oh my goodness.
Right.
And so yeah, so that's basically a little, introduction.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people have asked me what Syxth magic is. And the only way that I could explain it is it's manifesting from the energy that you release from an orgasm. And that's what I've told people before. Do you have a different way that you explain it to people?
Yes. Okay, so Syxth is spelled SYX, and if you remove the Y, you add an E, it is sex. I didn't want it to come out as that, so of course in spirit. So that's kind of where it comes from. And when we're creating, especially a baby, a seed, you have chromosomes, you have your Y chromosome, so that's why the name is spelled the way it is. Yeah, and that involves sex, of course, sex magic is, of course, when you harvest the energy to create something, and you don't necessarily have to create a baby, create, manifest money, just manifest, if you wanted to write a book, just manifest. Manifesting is all. And it's like, visualization plays a huge part. A huge part. And also your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus, and your heart chakra plays a major part. As honestly, all of them really
work together.
Really, when you're focusing on those, like those 4, that is like when that something is going to manifest, something is created. But it's like using that energy, and your chakras are your energy. They spin.
Right. Yeah, and it's interesting you said something about the sacral chakra, because I make waist beads.
Right.
I make waist beads, and I always try my hardest to incorporate colors. And I have a whole routine I go by with saging them and blessing them. Something if it's possible for me, I let them sit under the whichever moon it is at that time, and things like that. And I tell women, you have to be careful about what you allow. You know what I'm saying? Around, not only around your waist. A lot of people call it soul ties.
Yes.
Can you explain to the females how we're, I guess you could say, I'm hoping I say this right, we're the receptors. I guess I am I saying it right? We receive.
Well,
go ahead, help me out, because I'm
like the soul tie is also connected to, it's kind of like the, when they say STD, the spiritual transmitted disease, that is, but the moment that man, if he has negative energy, the moment he penetrates you, that is, that's where it is. So that root chakra, of course, is right there. That's the entrance. That messes you up totally.
Exactly. And that's
no
why
foundation.
Right. A lot of women don't understand. Like, a lot of times they be dealing with men, even if it's just casual sex, they'll be dealing with a man, and they don't understand why they're taking on a completely different characteristic than normal to themselves. And I've heard some women say, I don't believe in soul tie. I've heard some men say that, but condom or not, it happens.
It happens.
There is a transfer, and a majority of the time I think is a lot tougher on the women, because like I said, we're the receptors, and they're the one that they're the givers. So we're always open to things, and we have to be careful. I wanted to have this show for the most part because not only does society devalue the vagina, but I believe that us having lack of knowledge as women, we begin to do exactly that ourselves.
Very true. And it goes as far as, like, honestly, what you're saying is correct. You've pointed like a major point here. So the government is trying to control us women. You know how they throw birth control on us, or these pills, and most times it causes infertility. Like, I would say about at least 60% of our Black women are suffering with infertility. But let me tell you this, with sex magic alone, and maybe with, Reiki healing and all this other good stuff, you can create what you want to create. You can have your son or daughter. You can actually have twins. Most times when people are dealing with infertility, the moment they see what they have is usually multiples. Eggs are just sitting dormant for the most part.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And this is another way that, of course, we speak of unity. You can put it in two different ways. You can think of it as the Trinity, the Mother, Father, and then you have the Spirit. This is why three lives within you and me. The power of three, as above, so below. Okay, the man is one. He is one. The woman is zero. You put that one inside of that zero, and that's it. You're manifesting, you're creating. It is amazing.
It is. And for so long, like when I began the show, I said something about this being a taboo conversation, but we've over sexualized sex so much to a point to where everything about it seems perverse. And we're unable to have open conversations about this. Actually, this conversation is very beautiful and very much needed, because a lot of women don't understand just how much, and men either, they don't understand just how magical we are without sex.
Without sex. Actually,
they don't understand. They don't understand that you can just speak things into existence, and just like you said, you can use that to create. A lot of women have been told they're barren, and then they wonder how did they end up pregnant, because that was your intent. You went in the bedroom with the intention, and you probably visualized yourself as a mother. You visualized that man as your father. and you manifested that with the energy you release when you orgasm. It's that simple. It's that
very
simple.
And I mean, you know, when I was just talking about the Trinity, the triangles, I mean, you can go as far as visualizing the triangle upward and the triangle downward. And that's just, and you do it in your mind's eye. Everything happens in your mind's eye. The shapes that you want to, you know, have, or your own sigil, or, you know, anything, just make sure it's in your mind's eye. And once it's over and done, say, I've created. You just spoke that into the universe. That's why I was saying, like, all of your chakras, really your throat and your third eye too. Like, you really have to master it. Imagination is everything. And, you know, as kids, we kind of, some of us didn't have an imagination. Some of our childhoods was stripped away from us. So sometimes it's hard for other people to really imagine, you know, what they could really do. And we can do so much.
Right. I always start with meditation.
Yeah.
And then I get myself worked up, and then I'm just like, okay, I'm ready.
There you go. Yeah. And you know what though? Some people think that it has to be done with men and women. Not necessarily. No. It can be the woman herself.
Right.
Her, you know, masturbating herself.
And that's normally how I do it. I have not met my God just yet who would understand to even participate. And I know that, Lord have mercy, when I do meet him, is going to be, man, where we probably have to be careful, because like I said, my first time I did it all on my lonesome. And it was just so instant. It was just like, wait a minute, you know. And like I said, I began to doubt myself, because I'm like, Lord, did I really do this, or am I tripping? Is this just a coincidence? But do you believe that it's possible to do it with somebody without them knowing?
Yeah. When you are traveling, astral traveling, happens during that. But yeah, that's a whole nother subject.
You know what? No, just gonna ask you. You've done some astral traveling yourself.
Yes, I have a lot. And
oh wow,
beautiful souls. And yeah, so with that, you know, that comes with a specific type of meditation, and I consider it breathing. You have to. It's kind of like a pattern. Breathe in, hold it, then breathe out, and then you just have to keep going and going, but eventually you'll travel. So different methods, but that's one.
That's kind of similar to fire breathing.
Yeah, basically.
Oh wow. I'm scared, girl. I'm thinking I ended up somewhere.
Yeah, so with my Reiki, I'm specializing with the UC Holy Fire. I don't know if you've heard of that, but that's basically the same thing. And that's what awakened my Kundalini. Once that tail uncoils, it's on and popping.
Right.
And popping. And as far as, like, you know, I just had my son. This is a special story, I feel like, because
go ahead.
You know, the 10, of course, 2 equals the tree of life. The tree of life. And so one night in the clouds, I was just taking pictures of the moon and stuff, and I seen the tree of life. I was like, I wonder what this is about. The universe was throwing out so many messages, so I was kind of confused. But I recall telling my boyfriend, I was like, okay, in the year 2020, something big is going to happen for you and I. I was like, I really can't put my finger on it, but something big is going to happen.
Right.
And so, of course, sex magic was performed. And like 2 months later, that's when I conceived my son. And, you know, when we had that, you know, intercourse, I just knew, like, that the orgasm, it does depend on your orgasm. You have to make sure that orgasm is so strong, so powerful. You can feel the vibration between you and this man. After we were done, I was like, yo, we created a baby. I said, I know I'm pregnant.
Oh, wow. And you were pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you want a boy? Did you want a boy?
You know, and it's crazy because I kind of wanted, I've always wanted a boy. I actually miscarried with a boy. And I always said, I want, you know, my next kid, I want it to be a boy. So it kind of feels like my son is kind of like reincarnated.
I was just going to ask you that. Do you think that he is?
I do. And
Okay.
it's like, this story is kind of similar to the Isis and Osiris and a little like,
Oh wow. Yeah. You're
but,
right.
and
Oh
so
my goodness.
that's it. And so I named him Orion. He's named after the constellations.
Oh, he
Yeah.
is such a sweetie pie. I should have stole a picture of him. He is such a sweetie pie. Congratulations, sis. Like,
Thank you.
so that's definitely something I wanted to say, especially when you were speaking about masturbating and stuff like that. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about sharing this, but it makes sense for me to share it. Like, I was a chronic masturbator.
Okay.
Because of some trauma. And that's how I even got into sex magic to begin with, because one of the things somebody told me, they were like, you can heal yourself, by doing that, and adding a little intent as well. And not just that, they were like, you having orgasms all over the place, you're wasting those orgasms. Like, you could really, really do something big with them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I got into sex magic. Now, once again, I haven't quite like practiced it with anybody else. I haven't met anybody who is inclined. So like, I don't want to bring somebody into something because it could be the wrong type of energy and ain't no telling what we might create. So I guess I said all that to say, if you are a chronic masturbator, or you someone has an addiction, do you believe that is a gateway to your healing? Or
it can very well be. It can very well be. And I definitely like empathize with you because I've been through the same.
Right.
And so, yeah. So once I learned that sex magic was my thing, I was like, I don't know how I should feel about this because, like, I mean, of course, we've had our promiscuous days, and
right.
Stuff, but the older you get, the more conscious you become.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be selective with who you're sharing that energy with. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. It's so crazy. Like, we done covered everything. Well, not too much of everything.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that I'm reading my notes here. I was trying to secretion. Let's talk about secretion. Let's talk about our juices, because a lot of men feel like a woman, it's an old tale about a woman putting her period stuff in some spaghetti, and I be telling men, y'all looking for the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
The whole time, if she's knowledgeable the whole time, she like, he looking for some spaghetti. Let me hook him up some good old lemon. Like, so let's talk about secretions.
Yeah, secretions. Your menstrual blood and semen does magnify, what you can create as well.
Right.
So, let's see here. This it's a lot to talk about, but I will say that us women, our cycles, they sync up with certain moons, specific moons. So if you're synced up with a full moon or maybe even a new moon, these women are like the most fertile for the most part.
Right.
There's a lot of different, but if you really pay attention to your cycle, you'll be like, oh my goodness, okay. But what you're secreting, you're both the woman and the man. That's why I said like it's at the tip of my tongue.
I'm trying to think so I can help you.
When you both come, like because you know how sometimes the man finished before the woman.
Exactly. Or she finishes before him.
You want to finish together. And this also goes into the topic of what semen retention. So it's just so much into one topic, but as long as that man and woman come together and it's strong and it's powerful, it can be done. Or if you do candle magic, you can add that onto the candle. What I'm saying? You can do different stuff. If you're into hydromancy, you dip it in the water, swirl it around, say your spell. So there's many different ways. I always tell people there's not necessarily a right way,
Right
or
or wrong. Yeah.
as long as it works for you. That's all.
Right.
That's why I stopped getting into these groups, because we're arguing over senseless things. If you know how to do it and
Just
just
do it. Like, you know what, like that's another thing, like in the communities, in our communities, is just, it just seems like people want to stray away from Christianity, but they always so judgmental. You're not doing it right, this and that. Oh, these new age witches, and like that gets on my nerves. You know, it may be old to you, but you should be happy. This is a part of our heritage and our culture. And people are actually, it belongs to us. And matter of fact, it's been taken from us and used against us. Like, you should be happy that other people are catching on. I don't understand that. And that's why there's so much separation in even the spirit. People be looking at us like we're all about unity and we love and light. No, ma'am. It's not all love and light.
Oh, honey, it's duality. We got light and dark side.
Girl.
No. we got light.
I have to protect myself daily simply because of that. You know, and it's not like it's not like you're not supposed to be drawing your circle of protection on a daily basis.
Right.
But it's, you know, it's sometimes I'm a new age witch, and sometimes I hate that word. I need to stop saying that. But I'm a new age spiritualist. But you know, I hate it because it's looked at so negatively. So I try not to use it. You know what I'm saying? When it's really a blessing. If you really got these powers.
Yeah. I mean, saying spiritualist is like saying, yeah.
Go ahead, sis.
No, I was saying basically when you say spiritualist, I mean, a lot of us don't realize that you can be spiritual and you can be religious. Like, and
I know plenty of Christians that practice
a lot of us
exactly
close the door on it. I mean, there was a few times during my journey I was led to the Bible. I was told to go to the four corners. Meet me at the crossroad. I'm meeting who at the crossroad? You're meeting spirit at the crossroad so that you can have your baby.
Girl. Pass the collection plate. Sit up in here preaching, y'all. But that's why I brought you that's why I brought you on, because you're one of very few people I know who is knowledgeable about what we're talking about, and you have every right. Trust and believe. She ain't here just because I just closed my eyes and said,
not at all. We've been sisters for like 3 years now. Yes. And I've been seeing you do your thing. I've seen you. I've been watching.
Well, see, I haven't been, you know, I switched up on the pages, and I know sometimes people don't like to go to different pages, but I have a lot of people that don't like me. And so I'm always getting reported, you know, and I know it's gotta be some people that don't like me, because these be stuff I done posted when I was 20 something, you know.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 25, 26. And it's stuff that I posted. Y'all don't even know. I done grew since then. Let me live. Right. But I was most definitely, I knew before I stopped going on that page, I knew you had said something about you were about to have a baby. And then I came back and I seen this beautiful little brown faced baby with all this curly hair. And I'm like, who baby Six got? And then it dawned on me, sis said she was having a baby. So when I seen it, I was like, wait a minute, sis was just swinging on the pole. And sis that came on with a baby, but he is beautiful. He's a blessing. And I definitely was going to ask you, did you feel like he was the present baby? I definitely was going to ask.
From the moment that he came out, and one of the nurses was like, you did beautiful. Like, I did a natural birth, and originally I had wanted to do it in the pool, in the water.
Yeah.
But he wasn't descending when I was in the water. He wanted to stay up in there, I guess because the water was so warm. He's like, oh, I'm not coming out yet.
Right.
I went from the pool to the bed. The bed didn't work.
So you had a doula?
I didn't have a doula.
Okay.
But yeah, I had midwives, a bunch of midwives or whatever.
Okay.
So the wife was like, get in the chair. We're going to do a birthing chair. The same birthing chair they used in ancient Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And so I squatted, and she was like, listen, in the next push, you're going to meet your son. She was like, do you want to touch it? And I was like, no. It But it was so painful. So I was just being mean and stuff. But
Yeah.
and you know how
You're
most
natural
babies,
birth,
like,
girl. You the strong one.
you know how most babies like just cry. Well, he just said he was like ah, and then
Like, yeah. Like, I'm
laughing,
here
like,
now.
yeah,
Oh,
it was just so adorable. Like,
I'm so happy for you.
thank
I'm glad
you.
you got that blessing for real, for real.
Yes,
And it's
because
definitely
originally the doctors was like, you need to get a hysterectomy. We need to stop listening to these doctors. We need to stop
and
listening to them.
and what's crazy is everybody probably looked at the topic and thought it was just gonna all be perverse, but no, we're sitting
Mhm.
here telling you whatever it is. It's not just about money. It's
No,
not
it's
just
not.
about fame and
Nope.
fortune and
No.
trying to be rich. It's about manifesting those things that you really want. So if
Yeah.
you are a woman out there and you want a baby, but they've told you can't have a baby, here's a prime example.
Yeah.
They told us her thing wasn't even gonna work no more.
Hmm.
So, and you're right, we do have to stop listening to these doctors. I think it's so much, it's because they've handicapped us and we don't know how magical we are. That's why
Yeah.
I'm so happy you said that in the beginning. Like, we are magic.
Hmm.
And if you tap into that, if you actually seriously tap into that, but like you said earlier as well, it's hard for a lot of people for the simple fact their childhoods were stolen from them, so they never really had an opportunity to dip off into imagination.
There you go. That's it.
It's a blessing. Thank you so much, sis, for joining us on
You're so
tonight. I
welcome.
told you I
You're
wouldn't hold
welcome.
you long because I
Yeah.
definitely want you to get back to the baby. But before you go, I want you to tell everybody where they can find you.
Okay.
I have, matter of fact, I have her website. I'm going to post that. I'm not gonna post it in the comments because somebody reported that I posted something in the comments. It was a link.
Uh-oh.
It was a link to Spotify and they
Uh-oh.
flagged me for spamming. So I'm going to put her page information and all that on my page, but just kind of give them of course you already have spoken on things, but tell them about the services that you offer, what's available to them, and
Mhm.
sell yourself.
Okay, so basically I do Reiki, and of course, Reiki is just aligning your chakras, and of course putting you on the right path. Some of us are not in our right paths, and I feel like, we all deserve to be there. We all deserve to be somebody. We all deserve to accomplish our dreams and our goals. And that is one thing that I help with. I also specialize with fertility, of course. And I specialize with relationship issues, or spells. Where you can find me at is Instagram at Syxth Sense with the little underscore. You can also find me on, what is that, TikTok and Facebook as well. So I am just so grateful to be here, you guys. And, once you see my Facebook or my website, you'll see exactly much more that I do. So thank you for
Right.
having me, Kitty. I'm so
No,
grateful.
girl, I've been wanting you to come over here, but I'm getting more back into asking people to come because at first I was
Yeah.
just thinking to myself, they not gonna want to come.
Aw. Well, I will. So anytime you want to have me up here for any topics, I'm down. As long as my little ones sleep. I got him.
Right, right.
Just let me know. I'm here for you.
No problem. I really do appreciate it. Everything that she just gave to y'all, I'm gonna make sure that I make a special post. So make sure that you go and like my page, Kitty Sings. That is the page for Kitty Pink Radio. Make
Will
sure you
do.
go follow that page. I'm gonna put all Syxth Sense information there. Y'all, she is awesome at what she does. I promise you, you won't
Thank
be
you.
sorry.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, sis. I love you. And
I
get
love
that
you too.
baby all the
Mwah.
kisses and hugs from Auntie
Will
Kitty.
do. I will. Mwah. Bye,
Have
y'all.
a good one, sis.
All right.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to cover this topic because I feel like a lot of times we, and I do mean men and women alike, we're taught that the only thing sex is for us to procreate. And that's not it at all. Sex within itself is a magical act. And if you have the patience, the intent, the imagination if you know how to visualize, if you know how to block out the world and just concentrate on that and put all your intent into that particular thing, you can perform sex magic, period. And I want you men and women alike, I want you men to stop saying that the yoni is not nothing special, because it very much is. And I hate hearing y'all say that, for the simple fact the yoni is the boat you rode into the earth on. And that's just that. I don't even have to say too much other than that. It's the boat that you rode in here on. And I have some friends personally who are going through, they got married and found out that they couldn't have kids, or the doctors told them they had kids. Syxth Sense just laid it out here for all of y'all. It's possible. It's possible. These folks was telling sis she needed a hysterectomy, and sis done gave birth to a whole beautiful baby during all of this at home with midwives and naturally, without any type of medication. The reason you heard her, she said she was in pain. However, we've gotten so lazy as far as the mind. We don't exercise our minds enough. And that's why I would advise anybody to try sex magic as well. We don't exercise the mind as much. And that's why we always running around with doubts. Like, I can't. But it's possible. And I know all this sounds like taboo. I know all this sounds like a load of crap, but it's possible. Some of you probably already had hysterectomies and don't think you can have some kids, but I promise you get off into some sex magic, the universe will show you some things. We're so much more powerful than we give ourselves credit for. And until we tap into that, we're going to continuously be walking around here clueless. Tap into you. Tap into who you really are. Tap into your magic. And I guess that's it, you guys. I love you. I want you to love yourselves. That was an awesome, awesome topic. Y'all make sure y'all go and follow my sister, Syxth Sense. I promise you, it's definitely worth the while, especially those ladies of those fans of mine who don't, believe that they can have a child. They've been trying, all of that. I need y'all to tap into your magic, ladies. Stop mistreating your vagina. Stop it. Work on the health of your vagina, because a healthy vagina will help you out when it comes to sex magic as well. A lot of y'all are not taking care of your vaginas. You run around here drinking pop and eating hot Cheetos and all type of other unhealthy stuff. What you consume is important, not only for, like your heart or your lungs or your kidneys, but for your vagina. Some of you men too. Like, there are foods that you can eat. I had a friend that said once upon a time that, she had been with a couple of men who basically couldn't get it up. And some of y'all too young for y'all not to be able to get it up. And I do understand that some of y'all have done, drugs and abused your bodies, but that's reversible, is what I'm trying to say. I'm saying all that to say that that's reversible with the foods that you eat. Drink plenty of water. Water is, and I'm a water sign, so I'm repping for the water and the mermaids. Water is magical as well, y'all. Water can flush a lot of stuff out your body. I know some people who went on like a fast and all they were doing were water and they lost weight. If that can happen from simply drinking water, what else do you think can happen? You can flush some things out. So drink plenty of water. I think Magical Lady Duchess has a video on this. I just watched it a couple of weeks. She has a video on sex magic as well. I really, really wanted to go deeper, but we don't have enough time. Cut it short because sis has a baby. He ain't no big baby. He a baby. So she's breastfeeding. So she has to make sure that, everything is good with him. But I'm definitely going to have her come back, and we're definitely going to get into some more things. Y'all all in my inbox. Why didn't anybody comment and ask all these questions? Sis gone now. But anyway, y'all make sure that you tune in every Tuesday for Locked and Loaded. Every Tuesday, I'm going to bring you a different guest. Shout out to Syxth Sense and shout out to Miss Christy. If y'all missed last week's episode, make sure you head over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts to catch that episode. And also make sure that you're tuning in on Thursdays for Underground Radio. Why do I always mess that up? Underground Artist Hour. This week we have a special guest. His name is Big Relly. Y'all make sure you tune in for that. Also, next Thursday for Underground Artist Hour, we're going to have Big Pac in the house. I was going to say we're going to have Wee Day in the house, but we're going to have Big Pac in the house. They're going to help me host the shows. And then that following Thursday, I can't tell y'all who yet. I'll tell y'all later. That following, just make sure that you're tuning in every week, Thursday, 10 p.m. Central Time for Underground Artist Hour. And then if you don't care, if you old and you gotta go to sleep before I get here, then make sure that you tap in on that Friday morning with me and Bria Bratt for Coffee with Kitty. I love you. I want you to love yourself. Y'all quiet today, and I know it has a lot to do. It's too many people in here for there not to be as much interaction, but I know a lot of y'all probably didn't want your name to come across these comments because and that's why I wanted to have the conversation, because too many times often we're ashamed to have these conversations, and young ladies need to know. Getting off into things. Some young ladies are just taught, you can get paid for your don't let nobody in your pocketbook if they can't put no change in it. That's old school for, if you're going to be out here giving that thing away, make sure you're getting some for it. And then on the other side of the coin, a lot of us were told just not to have sex. Don't participate in it. That's the devil. That's worldly. Wait till you're married and things like that. And then, let's flip the coin back over to the fact that there are married women. And let's be clear, a lot of divorces are really just the result of no sex. And I know a lot of women gonna get mad at me for this, but that's just what it is, sis. If you're not giving it to him, he gonna go somewhere else and get it. And that has resulted in a lot of divorce. And I don't think it has anything to do with a woman not wanting it, because let's be clear, women are nastier than men. Happy Pride Month. I know for a fact women are nastier than men. So it's not the fact that a lot of women don't want it or they don't want to please their man. It's just they're bashful about it because nobody ever educated them on sex and what sex really is. The most education you had were the physics of it. And some of us didn't even get that lesson. We were just experimenting. And that's how you end up with babies, out of wedlock, or baby daddies and baby mamas. Because nobody was really taught what to do with their sex. Nobody set their little girl down and told her what you got down there is magical. Nobody set their little boy down and told him what you have between your legs is magical. Be careful with your magic. And that's why there are so many people walking around aggravated, mad, angry, want to fight, want to do all type of other stuff, is because you're dealing with Johnny Josh. Shout out to my bubba. He said, I'm the no sex parent. And I understand that completely because, the whole thing with not being educated about what sex really is. And that's why it's being misused, because we don't sit our kids down and just really have that discussion with them and explain to them what sex is. We just tell them it's just for when you fall in love with somebody and this and that. And then you tell them that without even telling them how to properly clean themselves. Did I say that? I'm just saying. I just want us to we're coming into a new era. And let's be clear, the things that we were unable to move forward with, the generational curses that we were unable to break, is really leaning on our kids. Well, shit, it's really leaning on our kids at this point. So these conversations need to be had. Talk to your, when they're coming up that age where they finna be having sex and stuff like that, sit them down and have that conversation with them. I'm not telling you to educate them on sex magic, but I'm saying sit them down, have that conversation with them, teach our little girls how to properly clean their yonies, and also our dudes too, because I done ran across some musty ones. Yeah. You say, yeah, I can't teach my baby girl to clean herself. I leave that to the wife. You want to know something that's crazy though, Johnny? My daddy had that conversation with me. I was so disgusted, so embarrassed, but my daddy had that conversation with me. And just like last week when I was talking to your wife about, my daddy was the one that told me don't be walking around here with no bonnet on my head. A lot of my feminine upkeep, a lot of how I carry myself as a female, that came from my daddy. Now, I ain't talking about the stuff that may disappoint my daddy. That didn't come from him. But the things where I have value and morals, that feminine energy, I learned that from my daddy. I did. I learned that from my pops. So, but at the end of the day, it's good you have somebody there that can talk to your daughter about that. We've talked about sex before, but not feminine hygiene. Well, I get it. Because you ain't never had a yoni. So I get that. I get that 100%. 100%. I just want to bring these conversations to the forefront because I feel like it's something that I was cheated out of as a little girl, and some of these things, like I had to become a grown ass woman before I really understood the dynamic of things. But man, shout out to Syxth Sense. Thank you for joining me on tonight, mama. Next week we'll be back again. Once again, I want to share this book with y'all because this interview is coming up soon. I just want to give everybody an opportunity to at least read the book first. She hit me up the other night and told me that it does indeed have an upgraded cover now. Shout out to KJ Dunn. Shout out to all the females in the DFW area that are doing their thing in this entrepreneurship thing. Like, shout out to y'all 100%. Do your thing, sis. I support you. If there's anything I can do to support you, I will do it, which is exactly why I'm sharing this book with y'all. Y'all, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. You're gonna do a little crying. You're gonna do a little crying because this book it's intense. It's intense, but it's a good read. And like I said, soon we're going to have KJ Dunn here. She's one of DFW's very own. We're going to have her here to talk about her book, My Mother's Daughter. You can get it on Kindle. You can get it on Amazon. Just look it up. Support, especially our own. What's up, Jamarcus? Especially our own. Support. This book can help out a lot of us women, a lot of us females, especially those of us who have experienced or are experiencing toxic relationships with our mothers. I know white women do too. They have toxic relationships. However, I'm talking about us. And it's no shade, no tea. I'm talking about us. Let's see let's just read this book, man. We're going to talk about all that in a couple of more weeks, y'all. I just want to give y'all time to at least read the book. Anyway, I'm finna bust out this joint. I love y'all so much. Thank you for tuning in. I know things are different, and a lot of people are wondering why things are different. I just don't care to discuss that. Just understand and know that everything is going to be normal after a while. I love y'all so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your words of encouragement. This has been another episode of Locked and Loaded. Y'all make sure, I need y'all to go listen to last week's with Miss Christie. Miss Christie dropped some gems last week, and I want all my female viewers to go watch, because I've had so many women inbox me telling me how that conversation with me and Miss Christie changed their whole attitude. One of them even sent me a picture like, girl, I ain't got no buddy or no scarf on today. Yes, sis. Big respect to Miss Christie. She definitely blessed us all last week. As y'all see, no avatar, but I got up and fixed myself up. Shout out to Miss Christie P. Y'all make sure that y'all over there. Make sure y'all over there getting clothes from her. She sews as well. She's not just a pretty face. She can sew her butt off. I shared the information. The information is on my page. Y'all can always go over there and get all that information. And like I said, if you missed last week's episode and you need a little boost for the week, it's Tuesday. So I'm expecting to see a lot of y'all on my timeline tomorrow crushing on yourself. I love y'all so much. Not just that. Y'all make sure y'all tune in to Tri-Coastal, and I'm pushing for it, Bubba. Y'all make sure y'all join us for Manuscript in the morning, tomorrow morning, with myself, Big Rip, Judge Too Heavy, and Rob C. I love y'all. Again, I know y'all tired of hearing it, but I don't care. Like they say at church, I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Y'all have a blessed afternoon. This has been another episode of Locked and Loaded. We'll see you next week. I was supposed to have my music queued up, and it would have been cuter if I had, but I don't. I'm not prepared.
Hell yeah, KB.
You can hear the crowd sing along. Everybody know my songs. At the crowd learn to walk. Country girl, small town. 14 years dedicated. Look, ma, I finally made it. Never thought I'd ever say it, but today I live my dreams. Bodyguards protecting me. Crazy fans, loud screaming, flashing lights on every scene. Autographs, lots of pictures, signs that say we love you, kitty. Superstar, my new status, fantasizing. Please don't wake me, let me finish with this dream. Don't wake me up.